All the latest stories now this New Year's Day with the ITV News at 10.
A schoolboy killed among the crowds on New Year's Eve. 16-year-old Harry Pittman was stabbed to death waiting for the London fireworks in what police have called a senseless act of violence.
This tragic incident happened on Primrose Hill in an area of Parkland where a large group of people had gathered to see the new year in.
Also tonight, New Year's alarm in Japan. Thousands flee for higher ground as a huge earthquake triggers a tsunami warning. Too young to drink in the pubs where it's played, but could this 16-year-old become world darts champion? And how music is soothing the soul in Glasgow for those carrying the trauma of conflict.
This is ITV News with Paul Brand.
Good evening. He'd gathered with thousands of others to see in his 17th year, but Harry Pittman was killed just 20 minutes before midnight. The 16-year-old schoolboy was stabbed to death on Primrose Hill in London, waiting for the New Year's fireworks. People reacted in horror as emergency services pushed through the crowds to try, in vain, to save his life. Tonight, police say they've arrested a teenage boy on suspicion of murder, but are urgently appealing for information. Amy Lewis reports.
16-year-old Harry Pittman was out celebrating a new year he would never see. He was on Primrose Hill in North London with a group of friends watching the annual fireworks. At around 11:40 p.m, police believe he was involved in an altercation and stabbed. He was given first aid at the scene but died before paramedics arrived just before midnight.
My colleagues have informed the family of the boy, who is from the Haringey area, and they will be provided with our support in the days and months ahead. We're all working at pace to establish what happened. Although there has been an arrest, we do need information from the community, and we need to hear from anybody that saw anything that may be significant.
Police say Primrose Hill was packed out with New Year's revellers and believe there are people who witnessed the incident who have not yet spoken to officers.
A cordon remains in place here and forensic teams have been here throughout the night searching the area. A 16-year-old boy has been arrested on suspicion of murder and remains in custody.
A family is starting the new year grieving the loss of this teenager whose life had barely begun. Amy Lewis, ITV News, North London.
Thousands of people in Japan are spending the night in emergency shelters after the country was hit by a series of earthquakes on the first day of the new year. The largest measured 7.6 in magnitude, collapsing buildings and tearing up roads. A major tsunami warning was also issued, the first since the disaster of 2011. At least 4 people are reported dead, but that number is thought likely to rise. Neil Connery reports.
The calm of a New Year's Day on Japan's west coast was shattered when the 7.6 magnitude earthquake struck. The terrifying force shaking buildings, reducing some in Ishikawa region to dust. Some took cover under desks in this Toyama newsroom as a cameraman kept on filming. People ran for their lives in shops. Others frozen by fear. More than 60 smaller earthquakes have followed in the hours since.
It just didn't feel normal. It didn't feel like the normal, you got an earthquake for, tremors for a couple of minutes. This felt more significant than that. And it felt a lot more dangerous.
A major tsunami alert, the first since the devastating 2011 earthquake, was issued, but later downgraded. The fear of some tourists caught up in the quakes. Holy captured on camera.
This is huge.
As night fell, some of the fires which broke out spread. This was Wajima City, where power supplies were cut. More than 100,000 people have been evacuated out of the worst affected areas. As Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida responded to the crisis, he said rescue teams are doing everything possible to save lives. Japanese TV continues to warn viewers of the risks from aftershocks and other dangers. A New Year's Day when Japanese families traditionally gather together to celebrate has for some been a traumatic ordeal. Neil Connery, ITV News.
Russia's President Vladimir Putin has promised to intensify strikes on Ukraine after an attack on the Russian city of Belgorod on Saturday. True to his word, Russia launched a record 90 armed drones across Ukraine during the early hours of the new year. Targets were hit in Odessa, Kharkiv and Lviv, killing at least 4 people. President Zelensky made a New Year pledge to produce at least 1 million Ukrainian drones in response. And Israel's High Court has struck down a new law that sparked huge protests last year. It would have prevented the court from blocking unreasonable government decisions. Israel's ruling party said the judges were ignoring the will of the people. Meanwhile, Israel's army said it was withdrawing thousands of troops from Gaza to prepare for prolonged fighting that could last throughout the entirety of this year. Sport now, and it's been a happy new year for Liverpool. They've beaten Newcastle 4-2 at Anfield tonight to go 3 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Chris Scudder was watching.
New Year's resolution for Newcastle: win a Premier League match at Anfield. They hadn't done it for 30 years. No one else had won at Anfield yet, so the question for coach Eddie was how? Answer: with a charmed life. Liverpool had a goal disallowed, then won a penalty, but Mo Salah missed it.
That's a super save! Alexander-Arnold!
Newcastle had an answer.
And here is Alexander Isak!
1-1. It was nearly all one-way traffic though, and a cut so used to here as Salah's delicious pass gave Gakpo a third. Last word to Salah from the spot.
Salah this time!
Liverpool are 3 points clear at the top. Chris Scudder, ITV News.
To the world of darts now, and it might be a sport traditionally played in pubs, but the next world champion may be too young to even order a pint. 16-year-old Luke Littler stormed through today's quarterfinals of the World Championships at Alexandra Palace, just as he has every other match in his tournament debut. Vincent McAviney tells us how the unstoppable teen earned a place in tomorrow's penultimate round.
Luke the Nuke!
Warrington's Luke Littler took to the stage at Ali Pali to face Northern Ireland's Brendan Dolan in the quarter-finals as the youngest ever challenger. Just 16 years old, he's gone from unknown to household name in just a fortnight.
Here he goes. Luke Littler's first max of this quarter-final.
This afternoon, he stormed through 4 straight sets to the delight of the crowd.
Luke Littler is strolling through this quarter-final,
conceding only his 4th set of the tournament to Dolan before winning a 5th set to secure his path to the semi-finals.
There is no sign of this teenage dream coming to an end.
Littler hit 5 180s, had 3 100-plus finishes and averaged just under 102, the 3rd time he has averaged 100 or more in the tournament. Too young for a pint, he celebrated like a typical teenager, taking selfies with the crowd.
Now I am dreaming. I'm 2 games away. So, yeah, I'm definitely thinking about lifting the title.
Littler will now face Rob Cross, himself a debut champion in 2018, in the semi-finals on Tuesday night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Luke Littler!
If he goes all the way to the finals on Wednesday, Littler could celebrate his 17th birthday on the 21st of January as the world champion. But he'll still have to celebrate with his traditional fast food, rather than a pint with the other players. Vincent McAviney, ITV News.
Good luck to Luke. And finally tonight, the struggles faced by asylum seekers and refugees rarely end the moment they set foot in a safe country. There are often challenges in language, culture and, of course, integration. But a special project in Glasgow is working to ease all of those transitions through the international language of music. Here's our Scotland reporter, Louise Scott.
A huge round of applause, a big warm welcome for musicians in exile.
This group embodies music's ability to bring people together. Each member is from a different country, a different culture, and the only language that connects them is music.
It was really a project to give folk their instruments back, let them sing what they sang back at home, and to create a special music group that really allowed folk to come together and recover who they were.
Musicians in Exile began in Glasgow 5 years ago in the Govan area, the most culturally diverse part of the city. Susie and her family fled El Salvador 4 years ago, fearing for their lives from gangs. Susie said she was nervous to sing at first, but now she takes centre stage.
When I come into this country, I was very, very sad. I have to lose my country. But when I come in here to the group, I feel confident, happy.
And her son Gerardo loves playing the guitar.
Music, music is kind of universal languages. You don't really need to speak the other language. So it was fun to find some people with the similar interests and where you can share music and learn from them, they learn from you.
The selection of music is multicultural. We Believe in You is Congolese, a special song from Sylvian's home.
So whenever I interpret this song, it gives me joy. And when there is a feedback from the one you love, and you say, I believe in you, that is the most important thing. So it gives me strength.
Their end-of-year concert to celebrate the holidays shows how different musical languages can create one ensemble. Louise Scott, ITV News, Glasgow.
And that's it for tonight. The weather forecast is next. From all of us here, a very happy New Year.